I mean, the first major one of the modern era was Zoe Baird, Bill Clinton's first pick for that same job for Attorney General in 1993. The week before Clinton's inauguration, a front-page New York Times story broke the bombshell report that Baird had paid an undocumented nanny off the books.
Bill Clinton's cabinet choices have been sailing through the confirmation process, but now there are questions about Zoe Baird. That's his choice for Attorney General, the nation's chief law enforcement officer. She may have broken the law.
Baird employed a Peruvian couple in this country illegally for almost 2 years. One is a babysitter, the other is a driver. In addition to violating immigration laws, Baird and her husband also failed to pay their employees Social Security taxes.
Within a matter of days, Nannygate, seriously, as it came to be known, had blown up enough to destroy Baird's nomination.
The White House insists that Zoe Baird made the decision to withdraw, but there's plenty of evidence that she was pushed.
Discharge.
The Clinton cabinet, minus Zoe Baird, was sworn in this morning. At their first cabinet meeting, the president said he was sad about Baird's decision.
I feel very badly about it, but I'm responsible for it, and I'm going to start this afternoon looking for an Attorney General.
Unfortunately for Clinton, his woes continue with his next nominee for AG, if you believe it, Judge Kimber Wood, who, guess what, also had a nanny problem, as well as a brief stint training as a Playboy bunny.
More than 3 months after his election, Bill Clinton is still looking for an Attorney General tonight, now for the third time.
The White House tried to change the subject today, but instead had to work overtime trying to clean up the Attorney General mess.
Clinton dumped Judge Kimber Wood as a prospective nominee for Attorney General, even though she has paid all taxes on an undocumented nanny.
So she paid the taxes, unlike the first one, still didn't make it. Now, yes, if you're going to be Attorney General of the United States, you should probably follow the law scrupulously. But I guess I feel with today's hindsight and perspective, these are pretty minor offenses, already resolved by paying back the relatively small amounts of money owed. However, the trend continued in a bipartisan fashion into the George W. Bush administration.
Linda Chavez today withdrew as the nominee for Secretary of Labor after 2 hard days of stories about an illegal immigrant who lived with her, performing some work for cash back in 1991 through 1993. When Chavez was initially interviewed by the Bush team, she didn't tell them about the immigrant, Marta Macarta, a Guatemalan.
Same went for former New York City Police Commissioner Bernie Kerik in 2004.
Bernard Kerik, the man so many Americans remember from 9/11 in New York, was nominated by the president for a big cabinet-ranked job to run the Department of Homeland Security. That is, until it fell apart in spectacular fashion late Friday night.
In today's Daily News, a report of not one but 2 messy extramarital affairs. One with the famous publisher of his autobiography, Judith Regan. Kerik admitted the relationships, adding,
I think that's my personal business. That's their business, and I think we should stay at that.
Kerik had said it was only his nanny problem that cost him the job, but there were other issues even beyond his affairs. They include a past lawsuit for unpaid condominium fees that led to an arrest warrant for Kerik, a document Newsweek faxed to the White House Friday night, and a past bankruptcy, according to the website The Smoking Gun.
Now, you might sense a theme here, which is America's strange relationship to immigration, in which people seem to depend a lot on the labor of immigrants, undocumented immigrants, but want to pretend those people don't exist. But perhaps the most nonsensical flops came at the beginning of the Obama administration. That's when Nancy Killefer lost a job over less than a $1,000 tax bill, really. And Tom Daschle was bumped because of the free car rides he got from a wealthy friend.
The day started when the president's nominee for the new job of Chief Performance Officer pulled out because of a reported problem with $900 in back taxes. Then came the other shoe, the big one. The man who was supposed to tackle health care, Tom Daschle,
and I deeply apologize,
took himself out of the running for Secretary of Health and Human Services. For the former Senate Majority Leader, it's an enormous fall from grace. The man from South Dakota who bragged in a campaign commercial years ago that he still drove his old broken-down car was caught not paying taxes on the use of a chauffeur-driven car that he used to get around Washington for the past few years.
So rich guy loans Daschle his car to get around. Daschle never reports that as income and therefore doesn't pay taxes on the imputed income of the value of the car. Again, I think it looks pretty quaint in comparison to people like Pete Hegseth, RFK Jr., and Matt Gaetz. And now, it's undeniably good news that Matt Gaetz will not be our next Attorney General. But today's outcome does not relieve the pressure on Trump's other picks. In fact, Republicans in the Senate, again, to their credit, have made it clear they are not willing to publicly humiliate themselves in the most abject fashion imaginable for Donald Trump's wildly unqualified and unpopular choices.